Sarah Gomez here with Sarah's Scuba and Travel channel. International travel is starting to open up again, leaving a lot of people confused and uncertain about what countries are allowing entry. In this video, I'm going to show you how I conduct my research for international travel during these uncertain times. If you haven't already done so, please hit that subscribe button below and we will get started. During the COVID-19 lockdown, I went through travel withdrawal. A lot of you probably did so as well. So I took the time to really start conducting research for future trips and learn more about attractions and highlights in other countries, which left me with a long journal of plans and anticipation. So with the increase in the COVID-19 vaccines and international travel beginning to increase again, many people are uncertain of what countries they can travel to, the need for testing and or quarantine, and the safety protocols within each country of choice. So there's a lot of different websites out there offering this information. However, many of them are not up to date and accurate. So I want to show you the websites I use to conduct my research and to help you walk through those websites a little bit more. I use the U.S. Embassy website for the country I'm researching. I access the embassy's website through the U.S. Department of State website. They have created an entire page for links to various countries, explaining the COVID-19 protocols for that country. I will post the link to this website in the description for the video. Recently, I've been thinking about planning a trip to the Philippines. My neighbors are from the Philippines and they visit every December for a month. They have invited us to join them in the past. I've also been seeing some beautiful pictures recently on my social media accounts. And as an avid ocean lover and scuba diver, those images continue to draw me back to that country. So last night I decided to do some research to see if it's even possible to plan a trip for this December. Usually I would start by researching the cost of airfare. However, in our current times, my first step is to check the U.S. Embassy's website for the Philippines to see if I'm even allowed entry as a U.S. citizen. So down here at the bottom, you can click through the different pages. The Philippines is actually on page 3. If I select the Philippines, I don't start reading from the top of this page. My first step is to immediately scroll down to the bottom. There's a lot of information. To the entry and exit requirements. This section is available on all of the country-specific embassy websites for COVID-19 protocols. The first bullet lets me know an immediate answer to my question. U.S. citizens are not permitted to enter at this time. This decision has been made by the Philippines government, and I will need to continue to monitor the website for any changes to their policies. If I scroll down, you'll see a section that provides me with information on the country's policies and procedures that relate to COVID-19. So if I was allowed to travel to the Philippines, I would not need a COVID-19 test for entry. However, there is a quarantine protocol in place. On the 7th day of quarantine, I would need to complete a test at my quarantine hotel or facility. Upon deplaning, I would be subjected to temperature checks and be held in a designated area for other protocols. Once I have completed my quarantine, I will be allowed to move about the city I was staying in. However, I would be expected to follow a curfew that's in place and follow all protocols for the country. So another thing to be aware of is that the United Kingdom has adopted a traffic light system for travel restrictions upon entry from foreign countries. The 3 lists are green, amber, and red. Depending on where you're traveling from, you will need to check what list the country has been assigned to. The lists are updated based on infection rates and vaccination rates in the country of origin. So to check which list your departure country is assigned to, you will need to review the information on the UK government's website. I'll put a link to this website in the video description so you can access it quicker. So you'll see it does have each of the lists. So we have the red list, the amber list, and the green list. And then it also indicates what the rules are for individuals who are departing from each of those countries. As of the July 26, 2021 update, the United States is not listed on the green list of countries. The US is actually listed on the amber list of countries. So if we scroll down, you will see we are right there. Okay. So since we are listed on the amber list, the rules are different depending on whether you're vaccinated or not. So if you're trying to determine can you travel to the UK, you have to look at what are the rules based on your vaccination status. So the reason why I bring this up is because other countries have also adopted their own light classification system. So if we go back to the Philippines page, you will see that they have their own system that refers to green lanes or green list countries. So if you are trying to determine if your country falls within their classification system for green list, you will have to do more research on the Philippines light classification system. So let's take a look at a country that does allow entry for US citizens and residents, so you can see the difference. This time we're headed to Mexico. Again, I scroll down to the entry and exit requirement section. Are US citizens permitted to enter? Yes. This tells me I need to read further regarding the rules that are in place by the Mexican government. When reading this first bullet, it sounds like any recreational travel is not permitted. However, you really have to read carefully on these pages. This specific rule is only related to land travel, not air, rail, or sea. If we review the embassy's fact sheet, you will see more specific information about the rule. And if we scroll down here, we will see the specific rule of transportation. This is simply just crossing land borders. So it doesn't apply to air, rail, or sea travel. Only commuter rail and ferry travel could be subjected to this rule. So air travel to Mexico is permitted for recreational purposes at this time. I can see here that I do not need a negative COVID-19 test to enter Mexico. However, I do need one to enter the United States when I return from my trip. So this tells me the last 1 to 3 days of my vacation, I need to make sure that I can get a COVID-19 test. From my own experience, I can tell you that many resorts and hotels offer the tests for free to guests. If you're not staying at a hotel or your hotel does not offer the test, there are a variety of testing locations in the big tourist areas. I can also see here that when I land in Mexico, I will be given a temperature check. If I scroll down here to the bottom, I can see that there might be a curfew in place depending on where I plan to travel to within the country. I may also be limited on how much intercity and interstate travel is available, but more information is available at the bottom of the page on certain areas within the country. So regardless of where you would like to travel to, it may not be possible quite yet. Make sure you're conducting research before making any reservations. Once you do proceed to making reservations, make sure they are refundable or at least have no cancellation fees, or no change fees associated with the reservation. You want to review the U.S. Embassy's website for the specific country frequently before your departure date to make sure there haven't been any changes to the entry requirements that may affect your ability to enter the country or enjoy your trip, or possibly the need for a COVID-19 test prior to arrival in that country. This video is not exhaustive of all the international guidelines, so make sure you are conducting your own thorough research as the rules and guidelines are continuously changing. Thank you for joining me. If you thought this video was helpful, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.